Hey Warriors, it's LeeAnna here with Chronic Inspiration. Today I've actually made notes. See, I actually made notes. Nope, not that one. Voila! Ooh. I have made some notes about some facts about fibromyalgia. And before I get started though, I want to remind you that if you please could like my channel, give it a like and a subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for notifications when I come out with another video. And I am LeeAnna Adkins. I am the founder of Chronic Inspiration. Currently still in its infancy. I have had chronic illness. I've had fibromyalgia for 14 years, but I've suffered from anxiety since I was a little kid, depression since I was a teenager, and a host of other chronic illnesses that fibromyalgia brings onto its plate. Meaning that I get secondary conditions, secondary symptoms, all this stuff. But I am mainly here, not just for myself, but to advocate for everyone with a chronic illness. And I would love it if you come, follow the description, in the description box, follow the links, and come and join me. I'm sorry, I have the worst cold. I have bad allergies. I don't have a cold. I don't have a cold. I have bad allergies. But anyway, if you come to, this is really bad because I really have to update it. But if you come to our website, which is chronicinspiration.net, the link is below. You can read the couple of articles that I do have on there, or the couple of posts, I should say. There's more coming. I have a Facebook group. You can go check that out. There's more coming. I'm trying. It's hard. I would actually love it if I could find some people to kind of join me on my venture with this. So now we're rejoining this video here. What had happened was I had done the whole video, and I just I was playing it back for editing purposes and realized how awful it was. So I got it through the good part, and now I'm at the part where I want to show you this article. So this is from April 2020, and it's 10 ways to prove fibromyalgia is a real and serious disease. So it's going to be a good one. Okay. So starting off with this article, it's talking about how studies have found problems with pain-producing parts of the central nervous system in fibromyalgia. Those problems date back over 10 years. They indicate this FM is a biological disease, yet the questions about how real or serious it is still persist and part of the medical community. I gotta be able to move this, yes. There we go. And then here we've got the fact that so many websites still feel compelled to emphasize that yes, fibromyalgia actually is a real condition, that the fibromyalgia field itself and people with this disease at times struggle against outmoded stereotypes. So down here, we're going to skip ahead a little bit. Talks about ways that 10 ways that is to tell that fibromyalgia is real. And when you're talking about this, there was a large North American study done which contrasted the pain levels in juvenile fibro patients with those of young people in other rheumatic disease. Found it no contest. Pain levels were significantly higher and functioning and well-being levels were significantly lower in the kids with fibro. So one website also cites that 7 distinct kinds of pain found in fibro indicate what a pain artist disease is. It's not easy, after all, for a single disease to produce 7 distinct kinds of pain, but if you really want to know about pain, you have to ask the patients. And so down here we've got things saying, blood vessels feel like they're on fire. It feels like someone's blowing up a balloon in my head and it's about to explode. Pain that's like fire ants swarming through my vein and biting along the way, spreading their venom and pure burning inflammation. Feels like my army of lungs is belting me continuously with baseball bats. Army of thugs. Like little bugs are taking little bites into my nerves and muscle fibers. Now, I'm going to be truthful with you here. I do not feel pain that bad. What I do feel like, okay, this one says I feel as if I've been thrown off the Empire State Building with resulting crushed bones and then have my entire body roasted by a blowtorch and then submerged in subarctic water. Yeah, I could almost go that far. The bone crushing that is what feels. I told my mom that I actually feel gravity pulling on me. So that is actually something that I do really feel, is when I go to stand up and my body just, everything is just pulled right down to the bottom. So that is definitely something I can identify with. Number 2, central sensitization disorder means widespread pain and trouble. So it's been called the prototype central sensitization disorder. But what does that mean? Turns out it means a bunch of trouble. So it means that patients cannot, they have pain that's going on that's not confined to their hand or their arm or their leg. It's all over. So that's actually one of the criteria that means you do have fibro, is because of that fact. All right, widespread symptoms mean trouble virtually everywhere. So it talks about those widespread symptoms, and also it's the also things like fatigue and problems with sleep and cognition, and with the physical manifestations of the disease outweighing the physical psychological ones, depression and anxiety may be there as well. So you get experiencing widespread pain in a typical person with FM. So besides widespread pain, a typical person with FM feels deprived, fatigued, experiences difficulty thinking, and may be dealing with depression or anxiety. So, and then this next one, number 4, talks about how quality of life is just went to the bottom. It's just really, it's not good. Number 5, and I'll have the link to this article in the box below. 5 can be quite disabling. It's not a fake disease. It's not I don't know what I got, so it's got to be fibro. Fibro has a list of criteria that you have to meet, or your body has to meet in order to receive the official diagnosis of fibromyalgia. And it doesn't come on like overnight. I remember when before I was diagnosed with fibro, I just spent like a year before that whole time. Everything was just taxing me a lot more and more and more. It just started little by little, and then I got to the place that I was so tired that all I did was just kind of sleep on the couch, and I was on my computer learning social media and everything, because this was 14 years ago. Um, I it was just all that I did. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't see anybody. And for the first year, I was just basically, it was the fatigue that really got me. I couldn't walk on my treadmill without feeling like I was falling asleep. And that actually is a symptom of fibromyalgia. One of the things that happens is when we exercise or we get our heart rate up and our breathing up, we actually feel real sleepy when that happens instead of getting energized. It's one of the things that happens. So we've got a 325 person study found that over 50% of FM patients were either on sick leave or not working, and that 23% had some degree of permanent work disability pension. So, and then um, there's highest unemployment rate than most disability claims, and the most days absent from work of any pain condition. So it's pretty bad. It doesn't get any better. And it turns out one of the reasons is it's not easy to treat. There's really no treatment. Um, 3 FDA approved drugs for fibro exist. 3. That's it. 3. So it's just, let me see. People don't even take it. Because there's not a lot of medicines. If they can't take it, they just don't bother with the prescription, and people are self-medicating. So you've got high rates of widespread pain, hypersensitivity to stimuli, fatigue, sleep, and cognition problems, low quality of life, often disabling, difficult to treat, and how much worse could it get? How about it really isn't the only one that you get. It comes attached with other diseases as well. So fibro is an illness that kind of circles through all kinds of it exacerbates any other illnesses that you have. And in some cases, it will actually cause a secondary illness. But that can be caused from medication you take long term or because of the fibro. So I'm going to tell you straight right now, you can't figure it out. It's non-figure outable. There's just no way that you can discern whether your fibro is whether your symptom that you're feeling is coming from your fibro or if it's part of your medication. So the other illnesses that fibro patients have an increased risk of picking up somewhere along the line includes chronic fatigue syndrome, migraines and headaches, irritable bowel syndrome, temporomandibular joint syndrome, which is TMJ, adult attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And then some other things down there. I don't know what they are. And then it talks about here, number 8, how the fibro does make other diseases worse, which is what I kind of just touched on. It's the flip side of it. People with chronic pain conditions have an increased risk of coming down with fibro. That's called secondary fibro. And when that happens, it says watch out. One large study of people with rheumatic disorders found that having fibro as well as another rheumatic disorders had a remarkable impact on the severity of symptoms. So basically, it is the symptoms just basically the fibro takes over, and that becomes the patient's main concern. Number 9, we've got high economic costs. It's because it gets in there, it affects you. You're suffering all the time. There's only 3 meds approved. You can't work, and the medical costs of fibro range from, let's see, 2,274 to 9,573 or more. It doesn't include costs due to lost productivity and disability, which could be 3 to 4 times higher. And number 10 ignorant doctors that make everything worse, because this is not what we need. We do not need to go to a doctor that is going to say to you, let's just put this aside. I had a physical therapist say that to me before. I went in for my back, and he said, well, let's just set the fibromyalgia aside. They took x-rays and MRI in my back. I went to a spine specialist, and he laughed me out of the office. He said, your scan looks so good. I wish I could have that scan. Well, it's not good. And here it is 14 years later. I hurt my back. That's how I got the fibro. And here it is 14 years later, and I have chronic lower back pain between the L4 and 5 vertebrae. And it is very painful. I have arthritis up and down my spine in my facets, which is the little space that the blood vessels, I think, run through or whatever. But fibro really attacks the soft tissue because you can feel it in your joints. You can feel it in different areas next to your joints. It's really, there's a whole ton of hosts of secondary illnesses that I can go through. I did do another video about it, and I will link it to you right here. And I will put that on the screen and in the description box, talking about secondary illnesses and things like that of fibro. Everyone says good and caring doctors are certainly out there, but rheumatologists in particular are notorious for their aversion for treating fibromyalgia patients. And a recent Canadian survey indicated that many doctors don't even know how to diagnose it. So you need to do your research, obviously. And I know that it's upsetting because you don't feel like you could possibly do anything like that. But you have to try. That's why my videos that I'm putting out are not perfect. And you can hear this huge frog in my throat that I have going on right now. It's just not, it's not easy, and things are difficult. We have to, and to still do things that we need to do, we have to find a way to do them a more efficient and easier way for us, or we need to just be honest with people and say, I can't do that. And it's hard. That's because you're saying that to your family. Now, the good thing about work is there's something I want you to check into. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a medical professional. So all of this is from my own experience and from my own life experiences and things about my fibro as well. But for example, you need to look up the Family Medical Leave Act. Excuse me, I'm going to take some water. Some coffee. The Family Medical Leave Act is something that I used, I think it was about 20 years ago, when I was working in a call center. I took advantage of that because I was severely depressed. I was depressed. I had anxiety. It was horrible. In the Family Medical Leave Act, if you research it, you're going to find that it provides extra time for chronic illnesses such as depression, for mental health issues, actually for any issues, I believe. It's anything that is a medical leave that you do not have insurance for. You don't have insurance through your company. You're not on disability, but you still need help. And that's what this is. Just research it and read it. So I actually am on disability, and once again, if you are looking to get on disability, do your research. Maybe even hire a lawyer. There are disability lawyers out there that's what they specify in. So that is what I would recommend for that. But do your research. I am not your last call here. I am just somebody that wants to educate, educate, inspire, and encourage you to don't wait. Just do your research, get help. The more you do things sooner than later, the better off you will be, and make things more efficient and easier for yourself. try to be gentle on yourself, because the self-care that you need to do is going to feel very indulgent, but it's not indulging. You need to do it, otherwise you will burn out and quickly. Like you can do it inside of a week. If you went the next 2 days and just went the whole day working and doing physical work, cleaning the house top to bottom and everything, you're going to be done the very next day, and then the day after that is going to feel even worse. So just inside of a week, it could be up way up high, and you could just be slammed to the bottom. So it feels like a wave just crushing you down and not letting you back up. So it's some things you want to keep in mind with this. And then, of course, they've got some more basic information on fibromyalgia. Um, if I leave you the link to this article, it's going to be at the bottom here of this article. So there's even a newsletter that you can join. Wait a minute, is that a newsletter or is that? I think that's just another article, but this is a really cool site. This is the first time I found this site, and it's a site that I would recommend. It gives a lot of information. It is very technical, however, it's very informative and not judgmental in any way. So it's a pretty good site, healthrising.org. And once again, I'll put the link in the bottom in the description box. So that's all I have for today. Also, I do want to let you know that this video was not sponsored. I do have some sponsors that I will be sharing the referral links and things like that in future videos, but this video was just made because of my experience and wanting to kind of inspire and educate all of you. So, but I am LeeAnna with Chronic Inspiration. I will be here to encourage and inspire you in the hopes in making your life life a little brighter. Just jump down to the comments and say hello. I'm kind of new, so in case you didn't know that already, I would really love a comment and just kind of say hi and what's going on. And yeah, this is my outro. And thanks for watching, and give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications. And I want to thank you and encourage you to go do something to make your day a little brighter. Until next time, I'm LeeAnna with Chronic Inspiration, and here comes another video. Watch it right now.